Hello and welcome to Kickoff Conversations, episode 9. My name is Ray Dorsey. This is Jake Cooper.
Sorry we missed a week last week.
Yeah.
We had a bye week ourselves. The show had a bye week.
The good thing about it was there were, I think, only 5 ranked teams playing, and I think only one played each other or 2. So it was kind of a down week. It was good that we missed it. We tried to get it in, but the busy season's kind of holding us up, so we apologize on that. But for all of you that were texting us about, hey, where's the episode? Sorry about that. Thank you for thinking about us.
We're getting it in early this week, though. It's Wednesday, early Wednesday morning, and we're gonna come at you with some content. Let's get into the college football. We'll kind of make this the last 2 weeks. What stood out to you these last 2 weeks, Ray?
Well, Indiana snuck by in a tight one last week against Michigan. I've been singing their praises. I like what they do. I think that they're a very interesting team. Curtis Rourke definitely ran into a little bit of adversity this week. Wasn't perfect, certainly in the second half, but the fact that they pulled it out and they got it done was impressive to me. First real challenge of the whole season. I think this is the first time they also trailed, which was kind of funny. Signetti said after the first quarter interview or something, he's like, well, there goes our streak of not trailing at all this year. And they battled their way back. And so
speaking of them, what do you think next week looks like at Ohio State? They're off this week.
We're looking ahead there. I didn't prepare for that, but
at Ohio State at noon.
Yeah, very weird time. They kind of give Ohio State the crap times. They don't ever let them play at night, I feel like. In the big games, for sure. They always put them at the Big Noon kickoff. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that one, but after we played Ohio State, I was going to take Indiana all day because Indiana had beat everybody by 40. So I think it'll be a tight one. I got to say, I am pulling for Indiana. I like their story. I like Signetti a lot. But
did you see the video of Signetti talking about their day before routine, like day before a game?
Yeah.
How they get in there late, go to bed, wake up, eat, go to the stadium,
kick some ass,
kick their ass, and leave.
Yeah, he's just hilarious, dude.
So, hilarious. They're very. If anyone would have told you they saw that coming, they were lying.
Number 5 in the country. Well, Signetti did tell you he saw it coming. He did.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. This guy.
They're obviously a huge surprise of the year. One of my other big surprises is SMU. SMU going to the ACC. They're number 14 in the country. If you look at their schedule, they got a pretty good chance to get in the playoffs, actually, which is kind of weird. It'll be really weird if SMU makes the playoffs. They play Boston College this weekend, and then at Virginia, and then Cal. And they're only 2 spots out as of right now.
When they played BYU, I remember watching it. It was like a late game. Early in the season, it was 18-15. BYU won. I was like, I'm out on this SMU team. I think that their quarterback, who I think is back starting, he was not playing very well, and he was supposed to be something big time, but he's definitely picked it up since then. He just dominated Pitt last week. Wow.
So, sorry, I got us a little off topic.
That's all right.
Where are we going next after, do we want to start going into our teams a little bit, last 2 weeks?
Yeah, sure. I do want to talk about Penn State, Ohio State. That was a big one 2 weeks ago that I don't think we ever talked about the final of. Did you watch it by chance?
Yep.
What'd you think?
I think Big Ten football is sometimes very boring. I think it's very limited at times. I'm just not a huge Drew Aller guy, to be honest. I think specifically in big moments, like, Ohio State, big moment. He's got probably the best play designer in the country designing plays, and he just doesn't go out there, and he just doesn't do it for me. He went 12 for 20 with a pick. Now, Ohio State's defense is good, but some other quarterbacks, specifically quarterbacks who are supposed to be first-round talents, have gone out there and done well. Dylan Gabriel being one of those. So yeah, I mean, I thought Ohio State was going to win. I think you were on Penn State, but it was a tight game. I still think Penn State's good. I just think I think James Franklin time is in Penn State might be coming to an end.
Oh wow!
Even though I just think Penn State's one of those schools that has different expectations. Don't really think they're realistic, but I can see them moving off him eventually for losing some of these big games down the road. So they should win out, but are they going to play in the Big Ten title game as of right now?
Ohio State?
Penn State.
I'm sorry, Penn State? No, they're not going to.
If it ended today, who would be in it?
It would have to be Oregon, Indiana.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it.
It's crazy. For the top 5 teams right now are Big Ten teams.
But if Ohio State beats Indiana,
I don't know.
Would it be Ohio State, Oregon again?
I don't know.
They beat them head to head.
I don't know what the rule breakers are in that though. Like I don't know if it has to do with point differential or something like that because
the Big Ten coming down the stretch is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean honestly, a lot of these conferences, SEC, they got a ton of teams that could end up 8 or they could end up with 2 losses in conference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting. But some people are starting to get banged up. Some people are starting to get hurt. And I did want to talk about one big game this upcoming weekend in the SEC, Tennessee, Georgia. I don't know who Tennessee's backup is, but the starting man is out. And so that's going to definitely handicap them for that game. Georgia's favored by 10 at home, but Beck hasn't been playing very well.
I think Georgia's going to roll.
I do think that they will. I just am a little bit worried about going outright and saying that since Beck has been
he's
openly
hasn't
terrible.
Been very good this year. Talk about hurting your draft stock. Coming into the year, people thought he was a top 10 pick.
It was pretty obvious to me that he wasn't the best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought he was. I always had question marks.
I've been public this year. Not huge believers in Georgia.
Public.
Yeah, I've been public. But yeah, not a huge believer in Georgia this year. I still think they're good. I don't even know what the rest of their schedule looks like. Tennessee, okay, they're probably going to win out if they win this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to get in the playoff, actually. I think they're going to be one of the 2 lost teams that are going to get in. Their schedule has been nuts. If you actually look at who they've played this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they played.
The thing that'll be interesting to see for me in the SEC, since we're kind of talking SEC here, is if Ole Miss will get in.
See, I just don't enjoy watching Ole Miss. I think that they are just. They're a good middle of the pack.
They're ranked ahead of Georgia, and they just beat Georgia head to head.
I know, but they're on the same level as LSU, in my opinion. Didn't LSU beat them? And neither one of those
LSU
teams
at night, yeah.
You know, neither one of them rock my world. Neither of them make me think that, they're any good. I don't know.
Ole Miss's defense is one of the best defense in the country.
I think they're a good
statistically.
team. I just don't think that they're worthy to be in the top 12. I'd rather have the 2 or 3 or 4 other SEC teams in front of them, including Bama.
I think 5 SEC teams are going to get in. That's what I'm saying.
Didn't I say that? I said that earlier this year.
Yeah,
I said that
you might
earlier
have.
this year.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I think at that time though, Big 12 was playing pretty well. You had like 4 teams there, 2 or 3. So I think that you thought more Big 12 teams were going to get in at that point.
I thought at least 2 were going to get in. I don't know if that'll happen.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee is going to be out.
Right now they're technically one of the top 2 teams.
I think Texas A&M is going to be out.
Both of those teams are top in the league in the SEC right now. They're both 5-1.
Yeah, but Texas A&M plays Texas last week of the year at Texas, and I think Texas will win that game. So I think Texas will get in. I think Georgia will get in. I think Ole Miss will get in. I think Alabama will get in. So yeah, actually I only think 4 will get in from the SEC.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
Let's talk about your Nebraska Cornhuskers these last couple weeks.
Yeah, bye week this last week. Thank the Lord we couldn't lose. 2 weeks ago, just get pounded by UCLA. Pretty much at all levels of the game.
Didn't really watch much of that one, so kind of tell me what happened there.
Honestly,
I just kind of assumed that Nebraska would out physical them, and
yeah, they came out right away. First drive went, a long drive, kind of set the tone. It was hard for us to get back on our feet at that point. And defensively, they just brought a lot of pressure. Their defensive line looks really, really good. And they were getting to us left and right. We hadn't had that much trouble, I really want to say, all year, especially after coming off Ohio State and looking good. The only other time that we really looked that bad was probably Indiana. But they brought the pressure. They played pretty well. Rayola didn't play great, but he was going through a lot of things. Plus, this whole time I had been talking about Nebraska hiding their playbook and doing all this crap the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, it just turns out that our offensive coordinator was inept and just couldn't get it done.
Has he been fired?
Not fired. So we brought in Dana Holgerson.
Has he been demoted?
Yeah. Brought in Dana Holgerson as a financial analyst, an analyst.
A financial advisor.
And I think the writing was on the wall. I thought it was pretty clear that, hey, this guy's going to be the caller from here going on out. It took Rule a week. He just announced it, I think, on Monday, that Dana Holgerson's the play caller going forward. The other guy.
It's so weird to me that he's going to come in there off the couch, and then 2 weeks he just, let's run triple right, veer 45-7. Just yell. He's in Rayola's ear.
It's going to be interesting. I think it was good because I was worried about Rayola. You get a proven offensive guy. I mean, that's all he's really been ever able to do outside of a couple bad years at Houston. I'm excited for it. Talking about the game coming up. A few weeks ago, I said this as well. Nebraska's 4 opponents in a row, starting with Indiana, all come off of a bye week coming into us, which is weird. This is, I think, the third to last one or the fourth to last one where it does happen. USC's coming off of a bye. We're going there, 3 o'clock game. Luckily, we didn't get the late night game, so that's good. We'll get a mid-afternoon.
It's going to be interesting. These are just 2 polar opposite. Just all about the flash in L.A. and
We're supposed to run it down your throat.
From Nebraska.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be an interesting game. We're +9 against them.
Yep. For those who don't know, that means USC is favored by 9 points.
I think Holgerson's going to make it interesting. I think he's going to bring some things. I don't think he's going to flip the playbook, but I don't feel like he's going to struggle. I actually think he's going to look pretty good. I think that he's going to have the guys humming a little bit. I just don't know if they're going to have enough gel, and maybe I don't think our guys are good enough on offense to deal with them. USC's been a little bit better on defense this year. They're not completely terrible. And then offensively, you already know they're going to be firing on all cylinders. Now, if Nebraska's defense comes out and plays like they did against Colorado and Ohio State, I think we have a chance to win. I just don't think we'll be able to hold them defensively. And being in there, on their turf, a little bit different time zone, maybe that doesn't affect anything. I don't know. I'm just trying to pull out excuses. But I think that will actually surprise some people. I think we'll cover, but I do not think we'll win. And I think the offense will look
for
good.
Nebraska is what Ray's thinking.
I think the offense will look good, and I think we might start building something going in the last 2 weeks.
Okay. So Ray's got Nebraska falling to USC going into the last 2 weeks of the year. That's going to be big. That's going to be this could come right down to what my prediction was, which was you guys would go on to lose the last 6 games of the year. I think I technically said 5 because I thought you were going to lose one of the early games, but then beat UCLA. It was a little bit flipped.
Yeah, I don't know what you said. We can go back and make sure because that's crazy. Last 6 games. I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Okay. One thing I was just looking at, I didn't realize UCLA beat Iowa last week.
Yeah, they're playing really well. And now they're dogs against Washington on the road.
Oh, Iowa. The writing is on the wall. just come on, fire the guy. I don't know what else you're waiting on.
In Iowa's defense, they were playing with their 5th string quarterback who was a linebacker.
Yeah, I'm looking at talking about Sullivan, and you're talking about
Sullivan actually is kind of good. The other
you're talking
guy,
about Stratton.
Yeah, the guy I have never heard of.
Hey, that's part of recruiting, my man. That's part of the game.
What happened to the 4th string is my
You
question.
probably shouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
this is definitely Iowa's worst year in a long time. Like, bad.
and they came off of beating the crap out of Wisconsin. Now they'll play at Maryland this week, and then they finish with you guys on Black Friday.
I know that'll be it.
Just a Big Ten football game.
Now, I think Holgerson will have his cooking by then.
Now, after talking about disappointing seasons with Iowa, let's go right into my Kansas Jayhawks, who have also had a very disappointing season.
Lean into
Although
it.
they did just ruin Iowa State's playoff hopes, just beat the crap out of the Cyclones in Kansas City. We're the best 3-win team in America. My point to prove that is we're going on the road to a number 6 BYU team, and we're only 3-point underdogs.
One thing I want to do at the end of the season, I kind of hope you guys don't win another game, although I want you to kill Colorado.
You want to compare to Nebraska?
I want
and
you,
Kansas.
yeah. I want to compare 3-9 Nebraska 2021 and 2024 Kansas 3-9.
You want to compare to give you an idea, Kansas offense is a top 30 offense in the country. We're number 4 in the country on third down offense, and somehow we have 3 wins. We're 13th in the country in rushing yards per game. Congrats to Devin Neal. He broke all the records this last weekend. He's now Kansas' all-time leading rusher in yards. He's their all-time leading touchdown scorer. Not just rushing, but rushing, receiving, all-purpose touchdowns. So congrats to him.
Bro, look at this. Oh my gosh, we should save this for later. But Nebraska 2021, the final 6 games. Lost to Michigan, number 9 in the country, by 3. Loses to Minnesota by 7. Purdue by 5. Number 5, Ohio State by 9. Wisconsin by a touchdown. Iowa by a touchdown. All those guys ranked. Unreal. Okay, sorry.
Got Ray going about his Huskers.
Best 3-9 team of all time.
But
All
yeah,
right.
like I said, Kansas goes to BYU this week. Interesting that it's a 3-point spread. I've really only watched BYU a couple of times this year. They don't really honestly impress me a ton. They kind of,
Good defense.
I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but they kind of remind me of the Chiefs. They just kind of win ugly, and somehow they're 9-0. Now, they don't have Patrick Mahomes back there, obviously, so I'm not talking about players-wise, but I'm talking about how they win. They've played a lot of tight games outside of K-State that beat the crap out of them. But yeah,
Here's the thing.
interesting game that they're going to be 3-point dogs. Coming off a big win.
Here's the thing. You are going to BYU
At night.
at night, 9:15. Sun will be set. Again, we've talked about this before in the pod. After sunset, wherever they play, I don't know where it's at, they have never lost, ever. Going back however long you want to go. They've never lost. They call it like the vampire something. So this will be very interesting because I think Kansas, if Kansas has the season that they want to have, and BYU obviously is 9-0 at this point, this is a huge game, and you probably pick Kansas for sure, especially with the talent. Maybe they're starting to figure things out.
Daniels had the highest PFF grade for Power 4 quarterback last week.
Saw that.
I'm not a huge PFF fan, but I guess when it goes in your favor, we can talk about it.
And one thing about it is that Retzlaff or whatever, the BYU quarterback, doesn't really impress me.
He'll be going against one of the best cornerback duos in America, in Kansas cornerback duo. Kansas has a really cool. They can kind of play spoiler these next couple weeks. They already did it with Iowa State. They can kind of ruin BYU's playoff aspirations. Kind of. If BYU, I guess, could still win the Big 12 title game. They play Colorado the week after.
That's the one.
So they could ruin theirs, and then they end with Baylor. So this stretch they're in right now, they're playing 3 straight ranked teams: Iowa State, BYU, Colorado.
Just think about the Instagram presence Colorado KU is going to have. We got Jalen Daniels, and then we got all the Sanders stuff going on. It's just going to be a big social media game.
Who just got out of prison? That's a rapper. I think
Young Thug.
Young Thug is reportedly going to be at Arrowhead for Colorado, Kansas.
How in the hell can he travel?
I have no idea, but he's supposed to be there. So yeah, it'll be back to BYU though. I think me being a fan, I think Kansas is going to win. Me being realistic, you probably got to go with BYU. Like you said, it's a night game. It's technically at a 9:15 Kansas City Central Time kickoff. So that game will get over it's going to be a late one. So it'll be interesting.
I'm going to take BYU in this one. I just can't go against the Vampire Hour. And I think defensively they're going to do some things that are going to put Daniels right back in the seat of not being able to hold on to the ball, turn it on over. But I'd like to see Kansas win.
Really quick, what the crap happened to K-State?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you guys lose to Houston? Come on.
That was bad.
Avery Johnson didn't play well. 2 costly turnovers. Hasn't been the same running the ball ever since his hip pointer is kind of messed up. I think that's what it is his hip pointer. They got a big game this weekend. They play Arizona State, who's 7-2. Arizona State's kind of been a surprise. I thought they were going to be really bad, but we won't spend much time on them.
I think that's way too many points for Kansas State there. Arizona State's already spoiled a few people's seasons. Well,
I don't know if their running back's playing though. That's
Arizona State or
Scadaboo. Yeah.
Oh,
he's one of the best statistically running backs in the country. He didn't play last week. So if he doesn't play, they don't throw the ball very well. They run the ball super well, but I think that kind of plays into K-State's favor. I think K-State will win, but I agree with what you're saying. It's a lot of points.
They've been good at home this year. They haven't lost at home. They beat Utah, who in their eyes was probably pretty good at that point. They beat UCF by 2 touchdowns recently. They're on a 2-game win streak, so
Colorado's got Utah this weekend.
They should kill them.
Yeah, Utah's been really bad. Really, really bad. All right, let's talk about one game we're looking forward to for this weekend, and then we'll start going, or for college football.
We're missing one, Beast. We're missing Missouri.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Missouri. Drew Pine. You guys are acting like you guys are going to go somewhere. You're not. Drew Pine did the Conor McGregor walk-off after the Oklahoma game. You're not that guy, pal.
Top 25 matchup on the road against the Gamecocks in South Carolina.
Have you seen the spread?
By 12.
I think Missouri's going to cover that.
Yeah.
But I do think Missouri will lose.
Do you like the fact that Drinkwitz called out that maybe, hey, we're still in the playoff, or do you think that that's just...
They're not in the playoff hunt.
He's hilarious, man.
He's just trying to keep his team motivated. I get it. But I think the week prior when you get beat 34-0 by Alabama, that kind of
sours it
says all you really need to know. And it's not like Alabama is who Alabama has been in the past.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, if obviously that's a pretty big game, top 25 matchup. It's honestly a bigger game for South Carolina. It's interesting that they're somehow 21st in the country and they have 3 losses.
They've lost to Ole Miss, Alabama, and LSU, all ranked
Brady
teams.
Cook were playing. I think they would actually go in and win this game.
Well, here's the thing, though. South Carolina, they lost to all ranked teams. They've got Mizzou here. Let's just say they win. They're going to beat Wofford. They end it with an ACC matchup in Clemson to finalize the year. What if they're looking at 7-3, Damn, they won't even be in the SEC playoff. Never mind. Yeah, they're going to get a decent bowl game, but it won't be playoff. Okay. Makes sense. Who do you got? You got Mizzou or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
I'm going to take Mizzou.
I think I'm a better thrower of the football than Drew Pine.
Well, is Brady
being
Cook out
dead
again? Is Cook out again?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
that's
this
what
dude, his career come to an end. He better get back in the game.
I mean, I had all these Mizzou fans telling me he was the toughest guy on earth. He went to the emergency room and came back and played the same day, and then now he suddenly, can't get back out there. So that's enough Mizzou talk, though. Let's talk about one game you're looking forward to that we haven't spoke about this weekend. It's kind of a very lackluster weekend as far as big-time games. Who do you got?
I was going to give my lock.
Okay, go ahead.
One that we haven't talked about at all and one that's not even on the ranked scene. I'm going to go Illinois at home, favored by 2.5 against Michigan State. Michigan State throws the ball all over the field, and they turn it over probably 3 or 4 times a game. I feel like I've seen their quarterback, who's pretty good, honestly. I like him. He's athletic. He's just young. His name is Childs. I feel like I've seen him throw more picks than touchdowns this year, but he's had a few people in the first half or a few games. He's had his thing going, so he plays well at times. He just hasn't put a full game together. Illinois is going to be too good defensively. You see what they did to Raiola. I think they're going to do roughly the same thing to him as a young guy. And then offensively, they're not the best thing on earth, but they're playing at home. I'm going to take Illinois by 2.5 at home as my lock.
Okay. You heard it here first. All right, let's go NFL.
Okay.
Let's start talking NFL. I'll go into the Chiefs really quick. We missed 2 weeks, or we didn't shoot it last week, so I'll go and really quick talk about the game against the Bucs. Ended up winning in overtime, just typical Chiefs fashion, just letting everyone hang around. The game really shouldn't have even gone to overtime. They just kind of let the Bucs hang around. I would refer to this as the DeAndre Hopkins game. He played really well, 2 touchdowns, 8 catches, 86 yards. Patty Ice played well. These last 2 weeks, although for some reason a lot of people don't think Patrick played super well last week against Denver. When you look at the numbers, he actually did play pretty well. He missed Travis late in the game to kind of seal that, and they got helped out by that block kick, obviously. But Patrick, these last 2 weeks, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. He's starting to get cranking a little bit more.
Did he have a down game against the Broncos, in your
No.
opinion? Okay.
Nope. The Broncos defense is actually one of the better defenses in the league. The one thing I am going to be that I am a little bit worried about is our left tackle position just is not. Sua Mataia, who is our rookie from BYU, he's our backup right now, had to come in the game. He gave up 4 pressures on 11 pass rush snaps. That's not good. Not very good at all. 2 of them actually ended up being in sacks. A lot of the Chiefs fans are, first off, they had realistic expectations of him. He was a 2nd-round pick coming out of BYU who had never he'd played left tackle 1 year in college. He was predominantly a right tackle at BYU. The athletes in the Big 12 are a lot different than the athletes in the NFL.
Yeah.
I actually thought he played pretty good early in the year. Week 1, he started against Baltimore. Wasn't a glaring hole, but as the season has gone, they pulled him. It seems that his confidence is down. He's struggling right now is all there is to it. I think it's kind of good for him to sit and learn. And I just think it's an adjustment period for him. I still do think he's going to end up being a good player for us, whether that's on the right side or the left side. I think he can kick over and play at right tackle, depending on what they do. But we also got to realize Denver's defense coming into that game last week was 2nd in the NFL in sacks. So it's not like they had a fluke game where they came out and just randomly were all over the place. Nick Bonito out of Oklahoma plays D-end or outside linebacker for Denver. He's a matchup issue for both of our tackles because the speed component for especially Wanya Morris on the left side is just a mismatch for him. He's more of a power player. So they took advantage of that. We couldn't really get things going. But we're still 9-0 thanks to Leo Chanel with a blocked field goal. I'm not going to lie. I thought there was zero chance they were going to win that game. And I was already
crazy.
preparing myself. I was like, all right, this is a good thing. This is what they need to kind of wake them up again, to get them going. I don't really, part of me does not really want them to go undefeated, because I think they need a little bit of juice to, kind of piss them off, wake the beast up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go ahead and start going into next week.
Go ahead.
If that's all right. But this is a big one here. Buffalo on the road, currently 3-point underdogs. There's been some exciting news that's came out this week, which is that is going to be that we play Buffalo on the road, and we have Isaiah Pacheco that's coming back off the IR, along with Charles Menahue.
Menahue's back.
They're not officially back. They've been activated off of the IR, which in the NFL, that means that you have a 21-day window to basically activate them to the active roster. So they've activated them from the IR. That does not mean they're going to be back this week. They have basically 3 weeks, a 3-week window that they will be back. So they'll be back at some point in the next 3 weeks. I think that's huge for both sides of the ball. I think we're starting to get healthier as the season goes on. Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are going to be an awesome duo to watch together. Funny stat here that I found. Kareem Hunt has the most touches in a season of any player ever that was added to a roster that was a free agent after 3 weeks. So what I mean by that is, like, he didn't miss one game. He was added after the third game. And in a season for a player who is just a free agent, we picked him up off the streets. He has the most touches in a year. And we've only had him for 6 games.
That's crazy.
So that just basically shows how much we've been absolutely force feeding him the ball.
I think he led receiving yards last week, and
he led in receiving and rushing. Yep. So I think his body's probably hurting a little bit. He's been doing great. He's been a great spark plug for the Chiefs, but I think when Pacheco gets back, they're going to be a true 1-2 combo. I think they're going to work Pacheco back. I don't think he's going to play this week. I think he actually might play next week. Would be the week that I kind of have circled. But this week at Buffalo, currently 3-point underdogs. I love that. Go ahead and tell me what you think about the game first, and then I'll kind of give my thoughts.
Yeah, I frankly haven't watched much of Buffalo all year. I've seen them a few times early on when they didn't look the cleanest. But I think anytime that you're going to go play them at their place, it's going to be tough. They are coming off 5 straight wins, though, and they're playing good ball. So I think that's why that they're kind of favorited so high. Well, that's why they're favorited at home, and the 5-game win streak. Started off the year 3-2. I'm going to take the Chiefs, though.
To go to 10-0.
Give me the Chiefs +3.
I'll tell you this.
Give me the Chiefs +3.
So you think they're going to lose, though?
I'm kind of a toss-up. I don't know.
So I'll tell you this.
Either that or they might get killed, but Chiefs +3. This might be that one game that you want them to lose. I mean, they're not picked to win it. They're not the favorite. This is their Super Bowl of the season right now for the Bills.
It's kind of a weird spot because I kind of disagree with what you just said, because the Bills division is horrible. So they've basically already won the division. It'll be interesting because this will be Josh Allen's first game against Kansas City without. Every time he's played Kansas City, he's had big weapons, as in Diggs. Diggs is gone. It'll be interesting to see how some of those other guys step up. Dalton Kincaid got hurt, which is their number 1 tight end, got hurt last week in the third quarter, came back in for a couple plays, and then did not come in for the rest of the game. So it'll be interesting to see if he can come in and play. I have a bold take here, not really bold, because I think that if Patrick Mahomes goes in and lights up the Buffalo Bills, he will suddenly start to be ticking up that MVP ranking. I think he should already be in there. Statistically, he's not having a great year, but I think he's obviously, to me, it's not even remotely close. He's the best player in football. Some people can say Lamar is. Well, guess what? Patrick has the same number of Super Bowl MVPs as he has one more Super Bowl MVP than Lamar has playoff wins. So at some point, you got to win some playoff games, man. And I think this could be a springboard for Mahomes' MVP conversation. If they win this game, I do think the 16-0 or the 17-0. If you look at their schedule late in the year,
looks pretty realistic.
This is the big one. They play Buffalo, then they go play Carolina, sure. Then they play the Raiders at home on Black Friday. They play LA at home, the Chargers at home. That's probably going to be a pretty big game too. They go to Cleveland. They play Houston at home. Houston's kind of been... They're in a rut. I mean, they couldn't block me and you. Their offensive line's bad right now. And Pittsburgh's been surprising. We play them late. It's at Pittsburgh, but ultimately Russell Wilson being 36 years old still doesn't really scare me. And then they end the year with Denver. So this is definitely the big one. This is the only game of the year they've been underdogs. This probably will be the only game of the year that they'll be underdogs. I think this will be going for 15 in a row.
Yeah, they haven't lost since Christmas last year.
Yep. And I think it's the longest win streak since 2009 in the NFL, I believe. Maybe that could be 100% wrong. But what was your original reaction when that kick was blocked? Did you think there? I thought it was over. I thought we were going to lose. There was no way. It was basically about slightly longer than a PAT.
I know that was crazy. Were you just like getting ready to walk? You're like,
I was just mentally preparing myself for this is what they need.
Yeah,
this is what the team needed.
My wife's from Detroit, so she's a big Lions fan. She doesn't really pay attention, but when they blocked it, I was like, "Oh, babe, you're not gonna believe this. Chiefs just won again." And she goes, "Really?" And I showed her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so Chiefs." I mean, I wasn't honestly too surprised. I thought it was kind of sick. I kind of had a little bit of a feeling. I didn't think it would be hey, let's just bulldoze the left guard and just get to him. I mean, gosh.
Did you see Dan Orlovsky's breakdown of that? They went after that guy the whole game.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. It's their left tackle on. I bet you he's not playing next week because they've made this public.
Huh.
He gets ran over legit 80% of the plays.
Well, yeah, I saw actually something where he squats down
and he just falls back.
Yeah, it's like you have no.
He has no leverage.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
That's cool though. How NFL teams and scouts if they're really good, they can see that on camera and they can find that guy
they want to attack.
I didn't know this, but who's the Michigan guy, the video guy that was cheating?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
He would watch all this stuff, and his guy is who's the former defensive end from the Chiefs. He's somewhere else. They were best friends. He played at Michigan.
Frank Clark?
Yeah. And he would watch all these tackles, and he'd watch how they stand and what they give away, and he'd tell Frank Clark, "Hey, watch for this. It'll be a run. Watch for this. It'll be a pass." That kind of blew my mind. So these offensive linemen are giving it away early.
But yeah, I thought there might have been a chance he would have missed the kick, either yanked it or pushed it. But I just didn't think they were going to block it. And then when they blocked it, I was just like, holy crap.
Because, I mean, that thing was going in.
Yeah.
Right?
And the drive before, people think Mahomes missed him. He did. It was a little high. But Travis didn't jump. He didn't have enough time to jump. By the time he turned around, the ball was kind of already over his head. So I think if Mahomes or if Kelsey would have been looking and actually jumped, maybe he would have caught it. But he didn't. Whatever.
The thing about this is too, Bo Nix ran across the hashes to give it to him on the right side.
Yep.
If they don't do that, they probably are
Because they had
okay.
to kick it over the left side of the line.
If they don't do that, they're probably okay, which is crazy.
So let me get into my pick. I'm picking the Chiefs first off about that game, and then I'll get into my lock of the week. I think the offense, believe it or not, is going to come out and just be humming. I think they've kind of been looking ahead to this game. DeAndre Hopkins is slowly starting to get more integrated. I think him and Kelsey are legit 1-2 combo. I think they're going to sprinkle. I expect them to get the ball more to Xavier Worthy this week. These last 4 to 5 weeks, they've been having a hard time. Mahomes has been missing him deep. So I think the Chiefs come out and win. I think it's going to be a little bit more higher scoring on the Chiefs side than some people might think. So that's what I think on that game. Let me go into my lock of the week. I didn't get to get a game in last week. I believe I'm 7-2 on NFL picks this year. So let's make it 8-2 here. I'm going to go with Baltimore on the road at Pittsburgh. Currently, the line is at 2.5. I'm seeing 2.5 and 3. If you can get it at 2.5, definitely get it there. I think Baltimore is going to cover that. I still just ultimately do not believe in Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore's offense is one of the best actual offenses in the regular season, which this is a regular season game. And I just don't. I'm still not 100% bought in with Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh offense being explosive enough to keep up with Baltimore. It's at Pittsburgh. It's a rivalry game, divisional game. Baltimore is only favored by 2.5, so give me Baltimore to cover that and take me to 8-2 on the year. That's what I got.
Alrighty, you heard it here first. Go get that money with Coop. I'm battling back to get 500. Think I'm going to be about a game or two away. So I do like my pick, though. Illinois this week for some cash. Thank you again.
Sorry we missed last week. Go ahead and share it with your friends.
Comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next week.